me okay?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think we're live. Hi, everybody. This is Andy Harwood from the Vaz+Harwood team, and I'm here with one of our favorite mortgage professionals, Lisa Wells from Cross Country Mortgage. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Andy. Good to be here. Good to chat with you.
Thank you. Always good to chat with you. So one thing that I've been working on lately is doing a lot more like just education and market updates and what's going on out there. And because we have a lot of news coming at us, a lot of news about interest rates. The Fed did another interest rate increase. And I think when that happened, interest rates actually came down a little bit, which is the interesting thing, right? It might have gone back up a little bit. So people don't always connect exactly what's going on. And we work in real estate every day. I'm working on buyers and sellers. You're working on mortgages. And we thought one theme we could talk about today was kind of like the national news versus the local picture of what's going on here in Minnesota and in the Twin Cities, and what it actually means for you if you're going to buy a house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the challenge is when we listen to the news or we see some of these, TikTokers out there or whatever, it's just really challenging because we have to remember real estate's local, really local.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the news does a blanket description of, oh, we think home prices are going to go down 5%. Well, where? In California, in New Jersey, in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago? What price point? In the upper bracket, in the first time buyer bracket? Like, it really lacks so much context. And it also is really confusing to consumers because they take it as, oh, Chicken Little, the sky's falling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the challenges that I'm always trying to talk about and really look at. So I'll share my screen with you and get a document up or a graph up that I think is pretty cool with regards to, oh gosh, sorry. The world's
No,
going to have me
no, it's all
go
good.
through
This is the
the
fun of
pop-up. There,
live. Okay, I'm going to put
this is the
this. There we go.
Okay. So I think this chart's really a telltale sign of where we could see some challenges. And this is just one. There's a bunch of other ones. And I'm sure, as this market kind of evolves, we will see different talking points regards to this. But I think this is what's interesting. So median household income versus qualifying income. So median household income basically says the median income for people that live in the Twin Cities, or excuse me, in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And then qualifying income. So if someone was going to qualify utilizing the median home price in the Midwest with 20% down, what is that income alone that they need to earn to qualify for that payment? And so what I think is really interesting here is if you look at the Northeast, the qualifying and the median household income is almost the same. Okay, there's no real wiggle room. If I go to the South, I skip the Midwest. If I go to the South, it's the same. Actually, that qualifying income is just a hair more than what the average person earns. But if I go to the West, there's a really large disparity about what it takes to qualify versus what people earn. And then if we look lastly at the Midwest, again, we are the ones that have the largest gap between median household income versus qualifying income.
That is so
And
interesting.
so I just think right now, the Midwest, Twin Cities market, we did not have the high highs. We won't typically have the low lows. So some of the coasts or some of those, South states that really had massive appreciation, well, they've really hindered their affordability. Everybody has.
Yeah.
But the Midwest has stayed a little bit more insulated, and the Twin Cities has stayed a little bit more insulated from some of those, which is why I don't think we're going to see, massive depreciation like maybe some other parts of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you look at like the national numbers, and there's all these, quotes and numbers and statistics out there, when it's not broken down into actually what that means in the Midwest, for example, where we are, you're looking at crazy situations going on out in, let's say California, or I know some realtors
Yes.
in, like the Seattle area, and it's just a whole different thing going on with demand.
Yeah. So I think that's the number one thing, if anything.
Mm.
Let's really focus on this local market. Let's focus on what we're seeing. And I know that with every client that we work with, we show zip code appreciation. And right now we are still seeing things appreciate
We are seeing
at,
things.
yeah, 2.5, 3.5 to 4%
Exactly.
estimated for the next year. We don't see anything going backwards. Um, we'll see how this market evolves. Interest rates really took another increase again today because when the Fed did talk Thursday, or excuse me, Wednesday, what they said on Wednesday was great, but then the minutes came out on Thursday and they had a much more aggressive tone. And just some of the commentary since then has really caused a lot of uneasiness in the interest rate environment. But at the end of the day,
Hmm.
the interest rate is a temporary thing because we all know that this is a cycle and they will come back.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, but we still are lacking some inventory. And that's where I think if people can buy now, maybe you don't have to have the appraisal gap. You can get in a inspection, like all those things that weren't possible when the market was really busy, now maybe will be possible.
It's
So
a
there's,
it's actually a very good market for buyers right now in so many ways. And I think if you had tried to buy a house like in March and then you try to buy a house now, you would feel a night and day difference. Because our problem from about January through April was how the heck to get people's offers accepted. And so now that
yeah.
rates are a little bit higher, that's a slight price you pay, but it's far offset by just how much more balanced of a market it is. I wouldn't call it a buyer's market, but it's a lot closer to a buyer's market than it's been in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do really think that no matter what, that you can't time the market.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
right.
just getting into the market and taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you then. And then when interest rates do come back down, which they will, then taking
Hmm.
advantage of that opportunity to refinance.
That's right. And one other quick thing, if I can hit on it, is that I think people think that housing prices are going down too, partly because we are seeing price corrections on houses, prices reduced, that kind of thing. But that is something that people are very, very confused about because we're not actually seeing housing prices go down, and I don't think we will. What we have is that when we're setting prices, I mean, we don't set prices, but I mean, when our buyers and our sellers and a realtor like us talk about what to
Yep.
price the house at, we look at comps. You look at comps too when you're
Yeah.
rating pre-approvals and that kind of thing. So we look at comps.
Yeah.
We're looking at comps from 6 months ago, 9 months ago, and we're looking at higher prices then. And so sometimes we've been basing the price on those comps, and the market has corrected a bit since then, but it's not actually going down. So sometimes we do need to make a price correction a little bit just to get it in line with the market. But what people are missing in that is that overall houses are getting more expensive. So people who are waiting for rates to go down and housing prices to go down and that kind of thing, the house is just going to get more expensive the longer you wait.
Yeah, I mean, there was some social media posts about Dave Ramsey, who I think is one of literally the most conservative folks
Yeah,
out there.
I love Dave Ramsey.
And yeah, and he was really saying it's not going to get cheaper.
Yeah, that's right.
Like homes are going to keep appreciating. And, the
Yeah,
crash that we had in 2008, I mean, those were crazy, crazy times and a
right.
very different time. I lived through that. This is not this. This is a cycle that we are going to go through and come out the other side. That in 2008 was very, very different.
We also have a
So I just,
huge, sorry,
no, go ahead.
we also have a huge problem with new construction. There's just new construction has been very damaged by supply chain issues, the cost of materials, that kind of thing. So there aren't enough houses. And as long as that situation continues, there's always going to be low inventory and high demand.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
well, I said we'd keep this around 10 minutes, and we're just about
Yeah.
there. So, anything else you want to add, or shall we? Yeah.
No, I think right now the most important thing is just make sure that if you are thinking about buying, if you are thinking about making a move, talk to a real estate or mortgage professional, because at the end of the day, we are the ones that are living this market day to day, day in, day out. And the news and the media are going to take sensational headlines and put them out there because that's what gets people to watch. And the fear mongering is challenging. So just,
Yeah.
talk to someone, get the real scoop is always what I think.
Yeah. They'll do their job, and we'll do our job. And our job is to help you get a house. Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Always a pleasure talking to you. Great
Thanks,
info.
Andy.
Bye.
All right. See ya.